electrical part. We'll start with the components we have. So we have the solar inverter. This will basically be inverting from DC to AC and giving us 220 volts on the outside. It's a single phase inverter. Here we have the connection box, which has inside the charge controller, BMV, which will show the battery's voltage and their state. And we have all the switches. This is a switch to disconnect the inverter. You can see the cables going in. This is a cable to the switch to disconnect the solar. And here we have the main switch to disconnect the batteries from the system. Once the batteries are disconnected, the system is basically off. Now at the bottom of the box you can see we've put down exactly where each cable should be going. We have the battery plus and battery minus, the PV plus and PV minus, and the inverter plus and inverter minus. Now here on the batteries, because it's a 48 volt system, we need to connect them in series. So on each battery, you can see we have the negative side and positive side, and then they're connected in series. You won't be getting it connected like this. You'll get the cables on the side, and you'll have to do the connections on the field. And then you basically connect plus and minus, leaving one side for the plus, which goes into the connection box, and one side with the minus going into the connection box. So after you connect the panels on the aluminium, you'll have the junction boxes at the back. And here you need to connect the pluses and minuses, leaving one cable at one end and another at the other end. One needs to be a positive and the other negative. Make sure also when you're putting the panels up, not like I did here, that you get a negative. This is a negative, then a positive, and then you should have another negative, because they'll be connecting together on the two sides of the panel. I'll show it in another video. So I've put the panels up one next to the other to make it a bit easier. You can see here we have the positive line, and here a negative line. And then the panel next to it, we have again another positive and another negative. Basically what we need to do is connect them in series. So you have a positive here, then a negative which is connected to another positive, and then you have a negative at the other end. We'll do this for four panels. So you have one positive at one end and one negative at the other end. So after you've connected in series all the panels, once you have the positive at one end and negative at the other end, you have your solar cable. This is the positive one. You see you have a female, connects together. And on the other side, you have a terminal which goes into the PV in on the connection box. Same thing on the negative side, male and female. Till you hear the click, and a connection going into the negative inside the connection box. Make sure that once you put the cable inside, the terminal here is for the solar plus. Just open it. This is the plus side. You can see going up to the cable which feeds the charger as well. and the minus side next to it. I haven't connected it, but that's what you'll need to do. Open the bolt, put the cable in, and tighten it. This is the inverter. When you receive it, it will be closed with the grill on top. You need to open it. And then from the inverter plus minus in the connection box, you go with the cables into where it says bat plus, bat minus. And that basically connects the DC side of the system. After you connect this, you have the AC out. This you'll need to use a standard cable, which will go here into the L, protective earth and neutral, and that needs to go into the electric box in the house. After you finish connecting everything, you have a lot of other things here. You have AC in. This is if you want to connect a generator to feed into the house. Then you have that option as well. A lot of things here that are relevant to communication, but we won't be doing on this system. And after you finish connecting, of course, make sure that the bolts are screwed on tightly and that everything looks okay. After that, you can switch on the inverter here to 1. You have 2 as well, which is charge only. Don't use that. That's only if you connect a generator or another source of AC voltage. So you put 1 on, and then you should get AC running into the house. Now, another important issue: the inverter is not IP, so it can't be mounted outside. You need to find a closed place to mount it. You will get inside the box of the inverter a unit which you connect to the wall, and then the inverter basically sits on it. This box, the electric box, is IP. You have connections here. You can mount it outside. Preferably you need not a lot of distance to the batteries. You'll need about max of 2 meters to connect from the batteries into the connection box and also to the inverter. One thing that's important to make clear, after you connect everything, make sure that all the bolts are tightened properly, both on the inverter, inside the connection box. We'll try putting the cables in a way that will be easy for you to make the installation, but tighten the bolts, not too much of course, but just make sure that they're tightened and not loose. Same going for the aluminum construction. Once you receive it, after the flight and everything, make sure that all the bolts are well connected.